Good evening. As you come on, hit like, hit heart, hit laughy face. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. So guys, it's Thursday, it's yoga time. I read that some of you are kind of sore, like lower body sore. I probably should have looked at the workouts. There we are, we're good to go. Just want to make sure I was on. Say hi if you're on. Let me know if it's hips or shoulders tonight and how you're feeling. Happy Thursday. Hi Wes, hi Randy. Rest, I heard you hurt your knee. So I hope your knee I hope you can maybe do some yoga or modify yourself and do what you can. Hi guys, happy Thursday. So let me know in the comments if you can, really fast, and tell me if it's hips or shoulders tonight. Otherwise we'll just hit a full body stretch tonight. So find a spot on your mat. I can still see your comments. Find a spot on your mat. You can be on a block, not on a block. I'm gonna sit on a block and we're just gonna take a moment to kind of check in. You can sit crisscross, you can sit one foot in front of each shin. And let's just start off rolling our shoulders up and back and opening up, because a lot of us that have been at home are finding ourselves a lot here more. So opening up the shoulders, maybe rolling one shoulder back and then the other. And I just kind of do a little pause and bring my elbows a little bit together, roll them back and then roll them forward. And then I'm gonna really just relax them and let them go. And then bring them all the way up. So I'm gonna bring my arm up. I'm gonna take my left hand to the outside of my right hand, or right arm, and I'm gonna lengthen that up just a little bit. So I'm getting a lengthened stretch from my fingers all the way down the side of my body, but I'm still keeping good posture. And then I'm gonna switch. So I'm gonna think about lengthening up and finding good posture, and then just coming over to the side and finding a nice stretch. I did not sleep the best last night, so it took me like, I don't know, a couple hours. It took me a while to fall asleep. And it was just, I didn't sleep well. So recognizing how your body feels. Now I'm gonna come back into more of a cat position and find a little length. And then I'm gonna bring it back up and bring my elbows back towards my midline. And then reach forward, find a nice stretch. Maybe move my head and neck a little bit and bring my elbows back one more time. And then bring it down, shake it out, see how you feel. And let's go side to side with our neck. You can help it or not. And I just want you to find nice, good position with your spine and then gently bring it over to the side and find a nice stretch. Maybe take a deep inhale and exhale once you find the edge of that stretch. And one more time on the other side. Now bring it back to center. Go chin to chest, right hand or left hand to the back of your head. Gently pull your chin down to your chest while keeping good posture and trying to find that stretch in between your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Bring your head back to center. Go side to side, you can go slow. Roll it all the way, halfway, whatever feels good. Now, I want you to just take your hands, place them anywhere you want. And I want you to just take a deep breath, close your eyes just for a second, and I want us to just take 10 really slow, deep inhales and exhales. You can inhale through your nose, exhale out through your nose or out through your mouth, whatever feels good to you. But I want you to just think about taking 10 really slow, deep breaths and just noticing how your body feels. So deep breath in through your nose. And let your shoulders come down from your ears. Deep breath in through your nose. Think about each part of your body as you feel your lungs fill up. Think about, is my chest tight, or am I really allowing myself to relax? And when I exhale, I'm letting the shoulders come down. I'm letting my sit bones press into the floor. I'm even relaxing all the muscles in my face. Find 3 more breaths. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. And you're going to come to a tabletop position. So we're going to just start off seated back. We're going to roll our wrists a couple times, like 5 in one way and then 5 in the other. And then I want you to bring your hands down to a tabletop. And this is where we're going to find wrist stretches here. So I might come forward a little bit, find a little bit of a stretch, and then come side to side. And just see how they feel, see what feels good to me. And then I like to take my knees a little bit wider, and let's do a couple cat-cows, and then we're going to go right into thread the needle. And even relax your head and neck. When we come up into cat, we tend to at times still hold tension in our head and neck. So allow your head and neck to find the edge of that stretch. And then bring it back down to neutral, and then find your cow. So when you're ready, you're going to bring it back to center. You're going to take your left hand to the outside of your mat. You're going to bring your hips a little wider, especially if they're directly under your knees, or if your knees are directly under your hips. So go a little bit wider between hip and shoulder. We're going to bring that over to the left, find the stretch in the inner right thigh. Keeping your ribs in, you're going to bring it over to the right, find the stretch in the left. Bring your hands all the way up, and then thread it through. So back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. Find that nice little stretch, you guys, but be mindful about how you place your body in space. And then connect that to your breathing. And try to relax your breathing down from your chest into your belly. So I'm going to bring my head down. I'm going to place and press into the back of my right hand. Line up my arm. Find the stretch in my shoulder. If this feels good and I need support and I want to keep my hand there, I'm going to keep my hand there. Otherwise, I'm going to raise up my left. And if I want to, I can externally rotate that shoulder, use my hand against my low back and open up, or I can even reach for my right quad. But I don't want my left shoulder to round towards the floor. I'm going to find a couple breaths. I'm going to bring my arm back up, place it down, bring it back to center, cat-cow a couple times if that feels good. Maybe move my head and neck, and then we're going to do the other side. So bring that right hand to the outside of your mat. Bring your hips over to the right, find the stretch in the inner left thigh, keep your ribs in. Then bring your hips over to the left, find the stretch in the right inner thigh, bring your left arm up. Thread it through, back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. Find that stretch in your T-spine while keeping good body position and controlling your breathing. It's a lot to do. You think yoga sometimes is just moving, it's just, moving around, right? It's about mindfully placing your body in space in good body position. So from here, if I have a nice position, I'm going to push into the back of my right hand. My arm is going to line up. I'm going to find the stretch in my shoulder, left hand, I'm gonna bring my right arm up. Now I don't want my shoulder to round forward, so I'm gonna externally rotate that, bring it behind me, and open up here. I could be here, I could be here, I could be here. And then keeping your breathing in a place where you can keep it calm, controlled, out of your upper chest, and release when you're ready and bring it all the way back. So cat-cow a couple times. Maybe move your head and neck a little bit. And then place your hands about a half a step forward, curl your toes, bring your hips up and back and find that first down dog. So you want to think here about making sure you still have armpits and you're not just pressing all the way down. You want to think about looking if you have a crease in your wrist of your hand. So you want to press back and almost make a triangle because you want to keep your ribs in and up. So even if you can't touch, that's okay too. You can also shorten your dog to make this a little easier to get your heels back. Now, you can walk it out, especially if you're tight in those hamstrings. And then I want you to bend your knees. Gaze is going to go forward. You're going to step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips come up to shins. We're going to lengthen up like a straight leg deadlift. Keep those ribs in and up. Keep those shoulders back and down. Find the stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale and fold it to the floor. If you feel good, you can straight leg it. If you're like, ooh, I'm tight, then think about finding one leg bent, one leg straight, alternate, breathe. Now bend both knees, ground into the floor, roll all the way up to standing, gentle little squeeze. And this is where you can go where you want. So maybe you want to go side to side, or maybe you want to roll it all the way around. Or maybe you want to do back bends. I don't know what your jam is. Who's all in here today? So, come to the top of your mat. And we're going to bring our arms all the way up. We're going to reach up from one side, then to the other, and just find that nice stretch down our spine. And then exhale, we're going to fold it back down. So you can use blocks, not use blocks. It just really depends, guys, how you're feeling. But always listen to what your body's saying. So don't force into a position. Breathe and earn your way into that position. Now, legs come straight, fingertips to shins. We're going to lengthen up. So bring those ribs in and up, shoulders back and down, gazes to the floor. Plant your hands, step back, hop back, jump back, whatever works for you. If you jump back, think about keeping that plank position. Bring it up. Now think about pressing through your hands and keeping your ribs in and up and lengthening up versus just compressing your low back. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming forward. Press into your hands, bring your shoulders back and down. You can always lower to the floor to make this easier. Now curl your toes, bring those hips up and back, find your down dog. Now pick up your hands and place them back on the floor. Pick up your feet, your whole foot, and then place it back on the floor. Feel the stretch in your calf. Now bring back to a down dog. Keeping your ribs in and up, come up on your tippy toes and press your arms again away from the floor. And then bring it back to down dog. One more time, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to come up on your tippy toes, pressing away from the floor. Bring it back to down dog. Walk it out. So you're going to bring your right foot to your hands any which way you want to, or come forward into bear crawl. Lengthen that leg high to the sky. Come up on the tippy toes of the left. Bring that right in and up to your chest, to your hands. So find that low lunge, train track your feet. Now, lower down the back left knee and relax the back foot. This is where we want to think about not falling into our low front lumbar. So this would be my normal setup on any given day with yoga, just simply because being a little more hypermobile, it's easy to push further into a position that I don't necessarily want to push into. So I'm going to think about setting myself up for a better position. And then I'm going to ground into this right foot And I'm gonna first, kind of like a Samson stretch, but I'm gonna keep a really good position here. And I'm gonna find that little bit of stretch and maybe use my hand to assist. But I'm thinking about keeping a good position here where I'm not pushing my ribs out or overextending my back, but finding and isolating a stretch in that hip. And maybe taking 2-3 breaths. I'm relaxing my face. Now, if I have really good body position and a really good stretch, and I want to keep this here, I could raise up here and bring my arms up. Just depends on how your body's feeling. So I'm going to hinge it back. I'm going to keep my heel of my right planted. I'm going to feel how that stretch feels in my hamstring and keep myself upright here. We've done this before, guys. Now, after that first initial one where you're breathing 3 to 4 deep breaths into that pose, I want you to think now finding a little bit of mobility or a little bit of dynamic movement into that position. And then connecting that breath to it. Nice. Now I'm going to move my blocks to the side. I'm going to bring my foot back down. I'm going to bring that foot behind me and then find my down dog again and walk it out. I'm going to go right into my left foot. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward in between my legs or in between my hands, and then I'm going to lengthen that left leg high to the sky. I'm going to square my hips, come up on the tippy toe of my right left knee in and up to your chest, to your hands. So you find this, train track your feet. I'm going to bring my blocks back. So from here, I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to lower down that back knee, keep a good line from the knee all the way up. Slight angle of my right or left shin. I have my rights and lefts screwed up today. And then I'm going to gently lean and find the stretch in the right hip. Now, when I find that really good position, I'm going to think about breathing. So I'm going to come into that position, maybe use my hand here, maybe use blocks and just breathe. And find the edge of that stretch where I can really breathe and relax into it. Think about grounding into my big toe. Think about not having my ribs punched to the floor. There's a lot to think about. But finding a place, really, if you're like, I don't know how many breaths, think about doing like as many breaths that you need to bring your face to really relax. And when your face is just like, oh, this is cool, then you're ready to move. And then pay attention if one hamstring is a little tighter than the other. And then connect your breath to it. So dynamically move in connection with your breath. This pays off even when you're doing a workout in the gym or at home. Probably the biggest thing for me to figure, like for me in a workout, was the rower. When I figured out how to breathe with the rower, it opened up a whole new world to me. Same kind of thing with this. When you figure out how to connect to your breath and moving into a stretch in your body and allowing yourself to let go of that part and just breathe, your whole body opens up. Okay, so we are going to bring that leg back. We're going to set our blocks to the side if we need them. We're going to curl our toes, hips up and back, find your down dog, walk it out, see how those hamstrings feel. Mine feel amazing right now. Okay, so bend your knees, gaze goes forward. You're going to step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, we're going to lengthen up. So ribs in, shoulders back and down, stretch is hammies. Exhale and fold. So check in. Even if you're here, that's okay. Even if you're still bending your legs, that's okay. Maybe you're coming to the floor. Maybe you ragdoll in your arms. Maybe you're grabbing your calves. Now, I want you to place your hands down if you can, or on a block if you need to. And then I want you to heel toe your feet to the outside and turn your toes out, almost like you kind of do a sumo squat. I'm going to place my hands on a block, and then what I'm going to do is just sit down into a yogi squat. So, if you couldn't sit down, you can take a block or a chair, and that does the same thing if you need that. Or you can use, I like to use a block, so that way it's almost like I'm doing a sit to stand, but I can add a cat-cow into it. So from here, I'm in a neutral position, and then I'm going to press into a cat. And then I'm going to come back to neutral, and then I'm going to sit back into my chair, and then find a yogi squat right there, and open the hips, but keep my torso tall. Then I'm going to bring this back and connect it to my breath. So what it looks like to me might not be what it looks like quite to you. You might have to modify. You might go faster. You might stay in the cat position a little longer. It just kind of depends what your body needs, but it's an awesome stretch for the hips and the shoulders, while also working squat movement patterns. I sneak that in. All right, so bring your feet back underneath you. Bring your block to the side, fingertips to shins. We're gonna lengthen up. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back, go high to low. Find your Sphinx pose, bringing ribs in and up. Lengthen back. Or find baby cobra. Or a full-on up dog. Just bring the shoulders back and down. Then curl your toes. Find your down dog. And then we're going to do similar to what we did, but we're going to, instead of bringing our right foot to our inside of our right hand, we're going to bring our right foot to the outside of our right hand, just like we would in an active Spider-Man. So we're going to bring our right knee forward, lengthen it high to the sky, and then we're going to come up on the tippy toe of the left, and I'm going to bring my right to the outside of my right hand. And then I'm going to lower down my knee, keeping good position, relax my back foot. From here, press into my left hand, keeping a good position here and not pushing my rib or my hip to the floor. I'm going to open up and find a stretch all the way up. So I have a deep stretch in my left hip right now. And then I want to control my breathing. Now, if at any point in time you have pain where you're like, ooh, no, you bring that hand back down and you keep it here. And you take 3 to 4 deep breaths to find that nice, where you finally kind of relax and stop holding all that tension. And when you find that position, I want you to think about pressing into your right hand, hinging back your left hip, and at the same time, coming back on the heel of your right and finding a stretch in that hamstring again. And now we're going to connect it to our breath. So I'm going to come forward. So what's interesting is a lot of people think that a vinyasa always has to be one breath to one movement. And a vinyasa does not have to be one breath to one movement. A vinyasa can be 5 breaths to one movement if you wanted it to be. So you just really want to think about finding good body position and then allowing yourself to take 2 or 3 deep breaths and really relax before you move back and forth. And then what happens is it starts to get a little slower or a little faster in regards to how many breaths that you have to take. And those body positions and movements get easier and they open up. So we're going to bring back that right leg. I'm going to curl my toes back into down dog. Now from here, we're going to bring forward the left leg and then lengthen that left leg high to the sky. Remember, left foot's going to the outside of your left hand. I'm going to come up on the tippy toe of my right and then bring my left foot to the outside of my left hand. So same thing here. I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to lower down that back knee and relax the back foot. So now what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm not pushing my rib down and twisting, but I'm pressing into my hand, keeping good position here and squeezing my glute as I now find a position where I can press and open up. Now this is optional, but depending on how good your body feels, you could be here, you could be here, you could be trying to reach and bring that shoulder back and try to touch the floor, or you could still be here. So this is where you want to find maybe 3-4 breaths where you can keep that body position. And just relax your whole body. And when you find that, then we're going to hinge back the right hip. We're going to keep our heel of our left where it's at. Maybe walk my hands back a little bit to find a deeper stretch. Maybe take 2 or 3 breaths here, and then we're going to move as you see fit. But not overextending your low back, not pushing your right hip further than it needs to go, and not sliding back your left heel just to get yourself further back towards the back of the room. Be surprised sometimes how even movements like this, when we really connect our breath to them, how sore you can be the next day. But it really, really makes your body feel good. And as it starts to get easier, things are a little more fluid, move a little easier, breath is a little more relaxed. And then I'm going to bring that leg back. I might cat-cow just to see how it feels. And then I'm going to bring my knees wide, big toes to touch, slide my hips back, walk my hands forward. I can use a block for my head if I need to, or I can bring my head to the floor. Now what I'm doing is I'm also thinking about keeping my ribs in and up and not overextending my back and pressing through the palm of my hands. As I press my hands away from the mat, I'm also thinking about bringing my hips back towards my heels and then breathing. And then I'm going to bring it back up to a little modified tabletop and then curl my toes, bring my hips up and back, find my down dog, walk it out. See how it feels. Bend your knees, gaze goes forward, step, hop, jump, float, whatever works. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold, check in. Then bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze, and you go where you want to go. Check in, tell me how you feel. Wow, it's 8 already. Time always flies with yoga. Tell me how your hips feel. Do a couple hip rolls. See how they feel a little better than a half hour ago. Tell me how they feel. Okay. Let's bring our arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Fingertips to shins, guys, lengthen up. Plant your hands, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. Now press it all the way up and meet me in down dog. So now we should be able to move a little bit more and things aren't so maybe creaky. Now, I want to bring our right foot to our hands just like we did for that low lunge. So any which way you want to get it there, think about bringing that right foot up to your hands. Now from here, I'm going to kind of come into like maybe almost like a sprinter stance a little bit, right? But my leg's a little further back for that. I'm going to bend my back left knee. I'm going to keep my ribs in and up, and I'm going to rise myself up into a lunge. Okay, now from here, I might have to step my back foot just forward a little bit. Make sure you're train tracked. Now this is where we want to check our pelvis because I'm slightly leaned forward. So I want to think about bending my knee, squeezing my butt. That leg activates, lengthen up while maintaining this position. And then I'm going to send that heel back just a little bit. Find a nice stretch. I don't have to bring my arms up. I can keep it here because as you can tell, my breath got up into my chest. So I want to control that before I bring my arms up. It's not always about getting to the end pose really quickly. It's about finding what works for you to find that position. My hip is tight. Whew. So it's finding that position that feels good. Now what I'm going to do is bend my back knee. And then I'm going to actually bend my back knee and then turn on the back, big toe on my back foot and step back into a warrior position. So now, if I'm looking down at my heel, I'm lining up my heel to the arch of my foot. But I want to think about not pushing my knees all the way over my toes. I see that a lot with people. And I also want to think about not pushing my butt out just to get to where I want to be. So good potty position here. I start with straight legs, but I make sure my feet are in a good position. And my hips are open up to this wall. So from here, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm just going to lower down and find that good position. So you notice how I'm all in a good body position. If I need to, I might move my foot forward a little bit. And I have a deep stretch in the inner thighs. So I'm going to bring it back up. So I'm trying to keep this position with my pelvis. The stretch comes here. So I'm not looking like this. And I'm not looking like this. Because I see that a lot. So if you feel a lot of pressure on your ankles, think about moving your foot a little bit farther forward. Now from here, guys, we're going to drop in, keeping our hips open here. Torso nice and tall. Arms are going to come up. Shoulders back and down. Arms are strong. Gaze is through your fingertips. Now spread your fingers wide. I might have to inch my feet forward or lift my heel and find a really strong warrior. Now from here, my breath's all up here. You want to think about bringing your breathing down. And then I'm going to bring my right arm down to my knee, but everything still stays in line. So I'm not pushing out any other part of my body to get here. I'm going to gaze up at the fingertips, keeping engagement in my right arm, still finding a stretch in that inner right thigh. If I want, I can bring my hand to the floor and arm goes straight up. This depends what feels good to me. Now from here, you're going to come back up. So I'm going to bring this left hand back and come back up to this position. Shoulders back and down. Might bring my leg up just to kind of get a little stretch and feel if that's a little easier to get into. And then I'm going to bring my hands back down. I'm going to turn my back foot, come back to the floor, step my foot back, walk it out. Now, same thing, other side. But get your breathing under control. It's really easy for it to just move back into your chest. So just think about taking a couple deep breaths. And then we're going to bring that left leg up and through. From here, find those train tracks, bend the back right knee, keep your ribs in, rise up. Find that position, don't fall. I might have to step my back foot forward a little bit, bend the knee. So fix your pelvis, ribs in. It's a balance pose, you guys. Everybody forgets that. I'm gonna lengthen up while keeping my pelvis in place, lengthen my leg back to get that deep stretch, but I'm thinking about not letting the heel go to the floor. I can't even stare at the camera because I'll fall. So, you can bring your arms up. I'm not going to right now because my body's telling me that I need to find my breath, find my foot, find this position. If I need to bend, I can. If I need to find a better position, I can reset myself. And as I as I start to allow myself to really breathe and focus, Then I can bring my arms up and send the heel back a little further and focus. Sometimes it just takes breathing, right guys? Okay, now I'm gonna bring my hands down to heart center. I'm going to turn on the big toe mound of my right foot and drop my heel down into warrior. So this is where I might need to adjust my foot forward, but I'll come straight leg first. And I wanna look at how my feet are placed. Am I lined up, heel to arch? And where are my hips going? If they're going towards me, you wanna open them towards the wall. So what I'm gonna do here is just make sure I'm lined up in a good position, not pushed out here, and then drop down that knee and adjust how I need to. So build your position versus just going with what you have and not thinking about it. Think about mindfully putting yourself in the best possible position that you can get into. And from that, connect your breath to it. And from there, build into full expression of the pose. You have to take it in steps. And when you take it in steps and you realize those things and figure out what you're doing and what you're not doing, suddenly poses that were hard become easy. Bring your arms up if it feels good to you guys. Shoulders back and down, fingers are spread wide, gaze is over your fingertips. When you're ready, you're gonna bring that elbow down, engage in that arm, bring the right arm all the way up. Thinking about still squeezing, still opening the chest, still finding that breath in every pose. It's super easy to go from one pose and your breath is super controlled to going into another one and it going whoa, and just all of a sudden your breath's all over the place. Bring it all the way back up. Find it back here, shoulders back. Adjust as you need. Let's curl the hair, bring the hands back down, turn the back foot, find your down dog again, walk it out. Find your breath. Now bring your knees down to your mat, bring them wide, bring big toes to touch, and just sit back for just 1 sec on your heels. So when you really connect your breath to really allowing yourself to breathe and to release all these different parts of your muscles and just let go of all those things, tight muscles, stress, tension, all of that, and we just allow ourselves to really breathe and release, you feel amazing and you just feel your body get lighter and you get a connection with your body and your movement, and that plays out in yoga, it plays out in CrossFit workouts, it plays out in everything that you're doing when you're using your mind to connect your body to do what you want in workouts or in yoga or all sorts of things. So bring it back, find a child's pose, bring those arms forward, and just find a place where you can find, just like we started, 10 deep breaths. I want you to find 10 slow deep breaths in whatever position feels comfortable. So if that means you're on a block, your head's on a block, that's fine. So deep breath in. Your next exhale, you're gonna bring it back up. You're gonna come back into tabletop, maybe cat-cow. Notice how that feels a lot different from before. Step your hands forward about half a step or two or one, and then curl your toes back and find that down dog. Notice how this feels probably a lot different than it did when we started.
Now, I'm going to come forward into bear crawl, bring my right knee towards my left elbow. And then I'm going to lengthen my leg high to the sky, make sure my hips are squared to my mat. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring my knee, right knee to opposite elbow. Now, if you want to do something kind of cool, square it back up. Bring it forward one more time, opposite knee. So, bring it back up, bring your leg down, cover your knees for a second. So I want to show you, just so you can see it, just what you were doing and what you can extend it kind of to. So, I came forward, I lengthened, I went here, you can come here. And try to come here. Now this can turn into, how is it? You press into this hand and try to come here, but that's really hard to do. So I just want you to try to come here, and then try to come here and extend your leg, and then bring it back. So bring yourself up to down dog. Woo! Let's do that a couple times. Bring yourself to down dog. Bring that right leg underneath you. So now I'm more in a plank. Now I'm going to lengthen my right leg high to the sky. I'm going to bring my right knee to my left elbow. Try to extend my leg out. Bring it back. Press it up. Let's do one more. So my hips are squared to my mat. Now I'm going to bring my right knee to my left elbow. Extend my leg. Bring it back. All the way back up. Nice. Bring your leg down. Woo! Bring it down to, find a child's pose quick. Find a nice little stretch. Relax your head and neck. We should do those in a Tabata. Ooh. So bring it back up again. Now we're going to go left leg. So left knee comes in between the bear crawl. Lengthen that left leg high. Square my hips. Left knee to right elbow. Bring it back up. We're just going left knee out to elbow. Don't extend the leg yet. Bring that other left knee to right elbow. Bring it back up. Square your hips. One more time, left knee to the elbow. Bring it back up. Okay, we're going to extend the leg. If you need to rest, you can, but keep going. So we're going to take that left knee to right elbow. Extend that leg. Bring it back. Left knee to right elbow. Extend the leg. Kick it back. Let's do one more just because. Left knee to right elbow. Extend it. Bring it back. Whoo, bring that leg down. Whose shoulders are on fire right now. Now bend your knees, gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Now bend your knees, ground into the floor. Roll yourself all the way to standing. Go where you want to go. Ooh, we should do balance pose. How we doing, guys? Hopefully amazing. My freaking shoulders are on fire. So if you felt that you should feel like you're in a plank position with those guys. So if you're here, what I'm doing is still keeping this position with my body, keeping my ribs in. Lengthen here. You can take this and turn this into a workout. That'll kick your booty. Or you can do it really slow and mindful and connect your breath to it and get yourself into a whole different place. So, we're going to do a fun pose. Because I'm feeling like we should do crow tonight because my hips are really open. My shoulders are super activated. Okay, here's what I'll tell you. If you're doing crow and you've done this before, you should know what you need, whether it's blocks, whether it's pillows. Do not do a crow pose on the end of your mat right in front of somewhere hard. You want to think about doing it in a position or put pillows around you. But crow pose is not leaning, it's a little lean forward, not a lot. So I'll show you full on crow and then we'll do modifications. If you're working on crow, practice it and you know what you should be doing.
If you don't, message me and I'll help you. So you want to think about, I try to get as high up into my armpit as I can, and I try to use part of the muscle against part of my knee, and then like flatten my back out but press through my hands. So you really want to think that you're pressing into the floor and pressing the floor away from you, but also like you can make it like you are like lengthening up to the ceiling. So when I set up my crow, you're gonna like think that when I lengthen up and press through my hands, you're gonna see almost like you would think a string would be attached, and it's just lengthening me up, but not push tipping me forward. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna see where I'm at. Hips are super open. So I'm gonna get as high up here as I can. Think about hand placement and making sure everything is stacked where I know it will fit. Now what I do is I inhale into my belly and I come down. And then I exhale and find this position. Inhale. Now this just helps get this position and get to where you need to be. Now when you're ready, you press through those hands. I'm leaning forward a little bit, but pressing up at the same time. So it's all about breathing. It's all about breathing. Now, many ways to do it, you guys. You're practicing while I'm showing you modifications. Whew. If your breathing is up in your chest, you're gonna fall forward. If you think about breath work and think about connecting it to when you're moving. So I inhale down and exhale, I squeeze, hug, and lift from those bathroom muscles, and I lift myself up and press, and I make myself part of the floor. So if you're up here, this is where if you can't quite get, or you can practice where you are more tippy-toed. Now, a lot of us start here. You guys, I started on my elbows here. This is how I started my crow. Practiced every single day for 2 years and finally got there. So it is possible. You may just simply be doing this. And that's okay. You just got to find what works for you. Ooh, we might do 2 balance poses. How did that feel? Because I know Alicia was working on that before. Better than this morning. Did you do crow this morning? Oh, Alicia, you have to tell me if you did crow this morning too. If you're practicing every day, I'm so proud of you. I love when you guys practice. When you practice, that's how you get it, right? So let's do you guys want to try a hard one? Should we do like a hard one, little kind of workshop? Because it kind of played into what we just did with the leg that went through. But I want to make sure I can see myself. So how we just did this one, which will practicing this will set you up for what I'm going to do. I don't expect you all to get this. This is one I haven't done in a while. But it's 8 angles, an 8-point pose is what it is. Watch me not be able to get into it. This is how it is. Okay, so I'm going to be balancing. So I'm going to take my left hand and bring it underneath my right knee. And I'm kind of going to be like side crowing it almost. And my legs are going to crisscross down at the end. So this is all going to stay nice and tight. I'm going to press up onto my hands. And think about keeping my core nice and tight. It's been a while since I've done this, so bear with me. I might not make it. We'll see. I'm totally going to make it though. So breathing is important here. And my arm of the left is in between. So you are balancing on your hand, but pressing through. So we kind of got there in one position when we were doing with down dog, but you think about having a good body position, hand position like you would with crow. But now you're linking your legs and you have to get yourself up to your hands. So I'm not sure if I can do it on the other side. We'll try it. We'll try it and see what happens, right? See which side can do it. And my other side is my stronger side. So, thinking about keeping position here, you gotta be breathing and having your breath under control. Hooking my legs, and then I'm gonna come forward and with momentum also press my hands away. And then bring it back down. So same kind of positioning with your hands. It's just about finding the position with your legs too. So what you'll find with yoga and a lot of poses and balance poses with yoga is that they are poses that when you have the base position and the foundation of the pose, it builds off of into other poses. So find a down dog. I haven't done one of those in probably, oh geez, maybe like 4 or 5 years. So we're gonna come back, find a down dog, you're gonna find a pigeon. So if you need to find a pigeon on your back, totally cool. Otherwise you're gonna bring that right leg forward, you're gonna slide it all the way back. And you're gonna find a nice stretch. So you can be wherever you want here, guys. You just want to think about controlling your breathing and bringing your breathing back down. It's really been my focus with you guys tonight is your breath work and connecting your breath with your movement. Finding the first initial position where you can actually look at your breath and think about it and go, wow, where is why is it really choppy, or why is it really up here, or why am I breathing heavy right now? And then thinking about just relaxing shoulders and areas that tend to get tight or tense up first for you. So for me, that's my head, my in between my head, or my forehead and my shoulders. So when I can relax those down, all of my breathing relaxes, and then I can really connect with that position and that part of my body that needs to open up a little bit, that I need to find that stretch with, but not force the stretch with. So if I honor my breath to get there, it will reward me with allowing me to get a little deeper into that position. So then before you know it, like right now, your breath becomes relaxed. And that space has opened up a little bit more. So the mind-body connection is a wonderful thing, you guys. All right, let's bring it up. Usually on Sundays, I always grab the back leg. If you want to do that, you certainly can. I am not today. My hips would just rather have a nice little stretch versus me trying to force it back. I was rolling on mobility balls today because the dog kind of put me in a weird position and hit a spot in my back that wasn't the best. So my hips just need a nice stretch. Now I'm going to come forward and bring that left leg and slide back the right. So same kind of thing here. I might start off just settling into the position that I actually want to get into. So a lot of us will go into the position and then just, yep, there I am. Well, maybe your body's not ready to just press it to the floor. Maybe your body first needs you to support it, find that good length and position before, and then think about your breath connection, and then start to allow yourself to lower down. And then your body will allow you to lengthen out a little more. It will let you get into that position. So we don't always just get to force ourselves into positions, and we have to think about the stages to get there, and then connecting those things that we know that will allow us to get there even more. And then using those other tools that we have, like mobility balls and foam rollers and lacrosse balls and all the things that we use as tools in the gym, can also aid and help you with this and breath work. So find 3 more breaths. And then bring it back up. If you want to grab that back leg, like I said, that is optional. You certainly may. Notice your breath. Bring yourself back to a down dog.
Check in and notice how your whole body feels. How do your shoulders feel? How do your hips feel? Then bend your knees and walk your hands back to your feet. If you want, you can place your hands underneath your feet and just gently find a little cat-cow. And think about relaxing your head and neck. And bend your knees, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. Go where you want. Check in, see how you feel. Maybe bring your head from side to side. Perfect timing. How do we feel, guys? Tell me how you feel. So, hopefully your hips feel amazing, because when I came into yoga tonight, my hips weren't feeling the greatest. I kind of had a little spot in my back, and I wasn't really feeling the best. But now, after taking some time to just connect to my breath and my body and my movement, I'm feeling like 100 times better. So, know that sometimes yoga and movement don't have to be scary things. They can be things that are just simply a movement practice, almost like Chris says sometimes, right? Like, it's your movement practice. So this is part of my movement practice, and what it allows me to do, why it may not be some big fitness thing where I'm just killing myself in the gym, but what it's allowing me to do is connect with myself. So when I am in those hard workouts in the gym, I'm not like in my head too much, or I'm able to recover faster because I'm understanding how to control my breath and bring my breath back down into a position where I can do another, round of an AMRAP, or I can do more reps, or whatever it is that, DJ throws at all of us. So I want you to find really anywhere you want. You can be laying on your back, you can be in child's pose, you can be seated. I just want you to find a place that you can just really relax. You can even be like laying on your side. And I just want you to take a position, I have bolsters back here, where you can just simply close your eyes for a moment and just simply breathe. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And I want you to just take 10 slow, deep breaths, just like we did in the very beginning of class. Think about taking as slow of a breath as you can in. Maybe you hold it at the top. And then exhale slower than you inhaled. And as you take each and every inhale and exhale, think about shoulders. Think about just relaxing a different part of your body with each breath. Feet, neck, hips, belly, face, tongue. Deep breath into your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And once you get to that 10th breath, with your eyes closed, you can turn to your right side, your left side, whatever feels most comfortable and natural to you. You can take a moment to just curl up
kind of be like, why isn't it longer? Because we always want that. And then you can, with the arm you're not using as a pillow, use that arm to push yourself all the way back up to a seated position, just like we started. Take a deep breath in. You can open your eyes. And then exhale, let the shoulders come down from your ears. Still having good position, checking in and just seeing how the shoulders and hips feel. So, I hope you guys feel awesome. My hips feel amazing, and I hope you learned a little bit of something about your own breath and how you connect it when you move your body and how that works for you. So, my goal is always for you to learn something in each and every class, so I hope you did. But as we end every class, and I'll be back here on Sunday, guys, so bring our hands to heart center. The light and teacher in me honors the light and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste, and you guys have an amazing Thursday. I'll see you Sunday. Bye, guys.